Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sognsdal Saga series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel. This series continues on for just a little while longer, as I have said plenty of times in the past, and the main reason for that is because of, well, the idea of returning to Vinland. The current viability of Greenland's viability, in this case Vinland's viability, is 32 out of 100. They say the max is 50. If you were to try it now, then it's only 32% chance of succeeding. When I first did it, it was 21% chance of succeeding. And then we did it, and then we got out of there shortly after, despite sending support to try to increase viability further. We will wait until it's either up to 50 or very close to 50, where I felt like, okay, let me take a gamble on this. But if someone else tries it, like say some other dynasty within the Nordic Seas region, basically anybody who lives in that general vicinity, as you can see the outline here. Yeah. Anyways, so it'll likely be another decade or so, or possibly less than a decade, that will have the Vinland's viability up all the way until where it's like, okay, let's try to re-establish an outpost. But this would also be noted that Kesari, Erstein, the Explorer, the Sea King, and whatever his nickname that was also prior, he's not long for this world. So this will be the last episode to feature this character, and then will soon be ruled by Edel, his daughter, who is in his 50s. Who's in her 50s, excuse me. I would say, I was just putting something onto the door to block it because of the wind blowing in. Even though her reign will be a lot shorter, one would think, because of her tempered lifestyle. Doesn't have any of, well, what she does have is a son, or would likely be the next, is Bjorn. I think you should go for intrigue, which in fact, in our dynasty's history regarding Norway, I don't think any of us in the past ever had intrigue. No, we were always a martial-oriented type. And soon we have one who is more stewardship-oriented. But I think grandson Bjorn should be one for intrigue for once. And I'm not going to be that man. It should go to someone who knows all about intrigue, and that's, well, I don't know about my mentor. It's my granddaughter. She knows what it's about. So the responsibility should fall on Bjorn. And maybe one day he'll be an explorer himself. And of course, there's also going to be another... Wait, I just remembered something, because I remember seeing something. Paste here. I had kind of, So, I like to spend another before he goes. I'd like to have some baklava as well, for diplomacy reasons. Anyways. Secret. Guards? One moment, please. You're from England. I know you are imprisoned at the moment, but I'm gonna let you out of here. For a favor. I don't want your money. You're gonna give me the favor, and then I will use that to force the vote. Gotcha. Gotta be smart here. He's a known criminal, but he will not succeed. I don't think we want to risk us fighting a rebellion, especially in such times. Actually, have that repaired. I'm just looking at things of what should I have repaired, or what are the things that I don't really need to give a damn about. Oh, including the tapestry made for me. Don't care about that either. Why do I not have a court physician? Hey, you be a court physician for a little while. If anybody gets sick, maybe you can pick up a little bit of that learning skill. For the time being. Memorialism is what's needed. But my main priority is too long. My main priority is too long. Ah, the famous pastry is left town. From the Middle East, who has been staying in my residence, sold most of his wares, now leaving for parts unknown. The last one can only wonder when such a talented maker of delicious sweets will return to these lands. One can only wonder. And do not worry if you're concerned about something I have not done yet. Do not worry, I will do them. Plan. Actually, hold that thought. Wards can get additional skills. You know what? I changed my mind. Regarding my grandson, Bjorn. Sorry I raised my voice because I just was putting something down and I almost threw it away and almost fell off the desk. Grandson Bjorn. During my last few months, I'll try to educate you, you know, the best way I can. Now, I'm not one for intrigue, but damn it, I'm going to raise you as you were my own. For at least last few years of my life. I doubt I'll see you reach adulthood, but I'll do what I can. That's why I'm not holding a grand plot. Don't hold court, nor sponsor a whale hunt or a hunting trip or anything, because you are going to save that money for two reasons. One is to prepare for the a goddamn thing. Edel. Yes. 1 out of 45. Philip. We know imprisonment has already been punished. But we could fabricate a hook on you. You're next, buddy. Just need to get off. Yeah, you got him. Keep it up. Crusader has become my friend. Hey, court tutor. Do we have a court tutor? No, we do not. And also get an antiquary. Have child study language. I don't think it works on... Actually, it does. Okay. If there's one language that you need to know more than anything else, is English language. Hey, it's just a dog. I ain't gonna compensate you nothing. You ain't getting out of me. Whew. Three kings. Vladimir, Brittany, Maharashtra. Okay, still trying to remember in the head. They're all cadet branches anyhow. There goes my jester. In 16 years' time, there will be Scandinavian feudalism, which gives us more domain taxes, more money for me, and also a new man-at-arms to replace the variety of veterans based on its performance of what it's capable of. Viability is now 34, which means 34% chance of succeeding when you choose to build an outpost. Hey, help me with that. Again, I am waiting for my time. Like when I'm stammering. When my time will go. And don't support Greenland just yet. Wait for all of those decisions that will come up until the reign of Edil begins. So she can up her prestige a bit, as far as I'm concerned. Well, she's distinguished. No, yes, distinguished, and she'll be illustrious soon after. Because if I remember correctly, if you're going to establish an outpost, no, level of flame does not matter, but it does for this option. You have to be illustrious for it. I still love spending time with my friend Ero Gunmund, though usually interpreters required. Usually language barrier isn't a problem, but today I appear to have upset my dear friend with something I said. He said something that sounded like a joke, and I laughed as it's courtesy. But then he gave me a glare that spoke 1,000 words. A glare that, as I felt the glare that pierced my soul, I could see our friendship, which transcends language, slipping away. What can I do to fix this situation? Well, hold on to this friendship. Well, I'm sorry that I don't know your language. And I'm too old to be learning languages at this point, so just mumble something that sounds like it and hopes for the best. A traveler has offered to tell us of the distant lands so which claims to return. Ladies and gentlemen, I left my village as a youth with my parents, pilgrims bound for Jerusalem. However, a terrible storm blew our small ship off course and left me stranded, alone and bereft, on strange heathen shores. I was soon captured by a fierce Arabian prince with 50 sons, $50, and 50 wives. I escaped on a stalled horse and rode further east into Persia, where the sun shines so hot that the cattle who stray from the new times in could burst into flames. Eventually I reached the mountainous land of wise women, whose meditations take them so close to God that they must have tethered themselves to large boulders lest they flow up to heaven. The attendants remained captivated by the increasing prosperous riches. What a wondrous tale. It'll be on 1066 is when my walking dog health boost expires. And it's likely going to be around 85 or 86 years old is when I will pass. Will you? Oh, walking into my service. You know what? That's something that this empire needs. We need more good fighting men. We can, bring them in. And, be on my successor service to have some of the best warriors of the land to help defend in case of, malefactors. Edo gets Denmark. They changed their minds. So she gets it all. The succession is barely secure. Barely. Just. Because Owen changed his mind. Because now the challenge is, oh, that person's too old. Why don't we get somebody younger? Well, there's not a lot of candidates at this point. I wonder. Well, the grandsons had the claims because Dagrun was been murdered. All the more reasons why I have to raise them. Like, what if something happens to Edo, even though she has no enemies at this point? Like, what happens if it were to struck down right now? And then I would have to vote for the grandson to have the kingdoms. And for him to rule the empire. Yes. Hidden play in Trondheim. It's brought to my attention at Ethelbert that the renowned hidden play right. intends to hold a performance of his work titled The Passion of Vald. The price of admission is steep. This is likely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness an Ethelbert play with my own eyes. A pious night at the theater it is. "37. As I watched the play unfold before me, it quickly becomes clear why Ethelbert is so well known as a literary genius. The prose, the performance, all of it makes me feel as though I am witnessing the events of the heroic sagas unfold in front of me, as if I were there to behold Ymir's work for myself. Once the play is drawn to the close, I find myself alone with Ethelbert. I could write better than this. Yeah! I could definitely write better than this. No learning skill at all he has, because he's an impatient man. It's been quite for some time since I originally vowed to outdo the inferior work of Ethelbert. As the ink of my scribes grows dry, I admire my own work. 2,000 North Sea Nights is a work deserving of being called a masterpiece by my own humble reckoning. The only question that remains is who should play the lead role. Outdo him in my diplomacy. Ha ha! Myself in disguise, of course. I will outdo him in a duel. All that. My dramatic debut. I take a breath and prepare to perform my play, assured that it will be impeccable with me here to deliver its pious message. I take a deep breath and recite my lines flawlessly. The audience surrounding me, falling captive to my words. I enlighten them with my masterful interpretation of the tales from the heroic sagas. As the crowd erupts to applause, I am sure that I outdid myself and showed Ethelbert how real Hęiðni writes a play. What a great night for Hęiðni everywhere! Why the heck not? Be a little open-minded, because I know there's plenty of foreigners that live here, and including people of different faiths, and they'll respect me a little more. And perhaps switch all votes to Edda. A Georgian, huh? Come from this far. Oh, the Sami. Eskoman. Osko. We'll miss you. Do not worry, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a plan of the eventual do have a plan in the event that I feel that my time is coming very soon. My granddaughter Grima has been impressed with one of the households for a very long time. After finally meeting in person, she's been repeating the Warrior's words to herself. Greatness comes in time. Beat our grasp when it does. Yes. Patience is good. You're starting to become more like me. What? Don't abandon it yet. There's still a chance of improvement. Because Edo must have everything. She gots to. She's still feeling fine. And if there are any creatures that still live in this realm, well, they'll have to respect me a little more. I want to be the most well-liked leader in the history of my dynasty. It's still going to be a while before we get to this next part. My grandson Bjorn. Oh, this is the exact same text. Sammy T's got patient. Yes. Patient is good. A little bit of learning helps. It is with some suspicion that I received a delegation from disorderly thugs from the Yalms Vikings, presenting a letter from Florence Copio. Fierce reavers and plunderers, both at sea and on land, these religious fundamentalists are some of the most notorious and deadly pirates in the world. Like any good ending. Well, they've listed the stories there. Piety and prowess with a mixture of awe and fear. Now it seems that Florence offered me command of this gaggle of volunteers, provided I use them to raid and plunder for the gods. Pirates that take orders in Twegan. Speaking of which, I think we're due time for a raid. You're giving me a concubine? You're giving me a concubine because she's blind and near dead. I respectfully decline just for health reasons. What's the size of their forces? We might raid there, simply for the sake of it. Seven. "86 years old. And as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the longest live character I've ever played was from my very first playthrough of Astorius. My character lived up to 92. He could have lived longer had he not been for two reasons. One, obese, and the other, imprisoned. That was during a failed crusade. Well, with the modifier walking dog about to be expired, so this is going to lower my health even more. And thus, my life expectancy is expected to be lowered. $15,000 men with an ungodly amount of gold, which pretty much tells you you do not want to go to war against France at all, because they're gonna bring every mercenary that God sends. But there are other places to raid, you know, like Rome, Constantinople if they're not too busy. to Rome. I got a new walkie dog, but that makes a little difference as my health will remain poor. And I'm still not certain. Well, actually, I will be certain when I feel that my time will be coming. And my time has not been come yet, so therefore there's no reason to panic too much. Torimo. Slovenian name for Rome. Well, you were irritable to me one time, and you were a murderer as well, so... yeah, I don't want any more rivalries. Yeah, I'll be willing to spend money for those stones. Because we're about to get some more. Huh? I inherited a war that concerns one of the areas that I honestly do not give a damn about. I'll be willing to surrender that little piece of land to you and an area that I do not care about. Oh, no, thank you. Land is yours. There are better, bigger priorities than that. Vinland was never in consideration for expansion of the North Sea Empire. No. Never, ever. On September 1066, that's the start date of one of the two start dates of this game. And now, this very year, we raid Rome. Alright. So close. A proud individual who looks as if she spent entire skulking underground is lurking in the corner of my throne. I've heard tell you might want a secret passage to soul. I can craft any impure corridor your twisted heart desires. I'm a simple man. A hidden escape passage will do. $38. Shadows walked by my side for many years, and the time pest does not spare dogs. As I knelt beside her, she started wagging her tail slowly, but she could not raise her head. I stood her long into the night, petting her black back until the tail stills. Oh, blast it. I'll miss you. Now I'm gonna be without a dog. Knowing when my time is over, I'm not gonna have any dogs to be with. Greetings from Lord Sigurd, one of the cooks says. I have your granddaughter, Grandma, with me here. She promised to clean the pots in the cookery. You see? She draws a sharp breath. And clean every pot she did, even scrub the cauldron without me asking. That sweet girl you got there. It's indeed very so this axe is going to stature. Yeah, sure. She's not expected to be a ruler anyhow. But it'll do for the time being. I can feel in my very bones. Hell will come for me soon, like an old friend, and she's patiently waiting to receive it. I'll be there with an ear. Today's that day, gentlemen! Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've been waiting for, because I knew my time would be coming. That means I'm gonna die at the age of 88. And you know what that also means? Time to reform the faith. That's the signal that I was waiting for, of giving myself, I needed an excuse to reform the faith, and then here it is. Every single vassal will convert. The old faith will consider me astray. And that, even though that's why I've been saying a lot of piety for this. It's just in case if I want to make any radical changes. I like the patron gods thing. The warmonger is, you know, and all that is fine, but this, I want to change that because I do not do the both as much as we used to back in the day. This needs to change. So I'm doing some thinking. There's many to choose from. And if there was going to be an enemy crusade against us, it would likely be England, which is plains and forests mainly. No syncretism. Rituals, rituals, rituals. I like how there's such thing as Gnosticism within a pagan faith, but considers other Gnostic dualist faiths to be righteous. In other words, if we were to meet with Manichaeans, which I don't know if they're still out there. I mean, for example, like if we were to meet the Manichaeans, then we're best friends. I didn't know that would be an option for a pagan faith. But anyways. To me, the one that makes the most sense is unrelenting faith, but you already have that thing with Warmonger, so... But everybody gets more prowess, but the faith hostility advantage is +2. Gee, I don't know. Advantage in hills. What about sanctity in nature? That's advantage in jungles and forests, and There's no shortage of that here in Scandinavia, but it requires a little more spending regarding buildings. Esotericism makes wise man a trait, which I appreciate that, honestly. Astrology allows the heretics to divine the stars, but the naval speed up more. I mean, we like to travel by sea. And divine the stars could give you little modifiers that might be helpful. So I'm thinking astrology or Gnosticism or what is this pursuit of power thing? Oh, that's what Momonger has. Strange. Sky Burial is a Zoroastrian thing. And to some degree, Boon Pagans up in Tibet. I mean, more prowess is excellent. So I'm kind of divided by three. Unrelenting faith, Gnosticism, even though quite, although to be realistic there, you are in no position to meet any Manichaeans out there. Because compared to the other duelist faiths, there's no one other than them. They only hold one holy site. And we're too far away from any kind of contact with them. Again, I'm willing to change this. So I think I would have to take Gnosticism out. So now either astrology or unrelenting faith. I would have to say unrelenting faith, just for every single adherent of our faith will have more prowess and a little bit of the faith hostility advantage. And I would retain these two. Although to be quite honest, I would keep it pluralist because I am not too big on conversions within the realm. That's up to the vassals. That's their responsibility, not me. Because I live in Norway. I don't live or switch capitals to other places that was, that's of their faith. And due to having the missionaries mod, you can have this option. Missionaries get bonuses of skill and chances of converting others. I do know for a fact that the Vitalists, they still don't allow missionaries. But I would say allowed, but it's not encouraged because we're not a proselytizing faith. I never imagine it. As much as we're practically defensive. So I will say missionaries are allowed. Like if you want to spread the faith, have it a go. You can give it a try. Cannot have both a theocratic, clerical tradition and temporal faith. Ah, there it is. So, theocratic is what it has. So temple holdings are leased out to the holder's realm priest, who then serves them as theocratic vassal. Well, let's change that with lay clergy. Secular rulers directly control their own temple holdings and get all the associated benefits. I will be the religious head. So it will be temporal. The position of head of faith is given to the founder of the faith and is passed on to primary heir when they die. If the faith has great holy wars, the head of faith is allowed to direct the war and to choose who the war target will be. That's at my behest and nobody else's. Plus, in my faith, there is no such thing as a bastard. All children are equally legitimate. No such thing. And I kind of understand that all of this is a bit rather restrictive, so... And plus, we never seen anyone with the sodomite trade that's worth criminal. So we'll make it shunned. Due to the fact that they're not very common around here. Of same-sex relations are revealed. It's like, hey, this person's sodomite. I mean, to be honest, I have not seen any, so I'm going to make it shunned rather than criminal. I don't think deviancy should be criminal. But I'll say shunned. Again, I'm just being generous, one would think. I'm not trying to make everything accepted. Close kin is criminal because, in my opinion, murder is murder. Witchcraft should be shunned too. And I find throwing adulterers into prison is convenient, so we could get them out of work. So I'll leave adultery criminal for the time being. Well, this is fine. Yes, it's all good. Ah. Maybe. Only men of Ask every point chapters and mushes. Actually, we should make it equal. Even though we have shield maintenance, but it's just to give me a chance, it's like, to have female counselors. Because there are some really skilled people out there. There might be women who are way more skilled than men, so that's why we have to switch it with equal as well. But I'm not switching to no equal doctrine because that's troublesome, especially under partition. Like say, okay, who's the first daughter who's going to get it? Yep, she's going to get the title. And then what about the son who was second in line? He was supposed to inherit everything, right? Nope, that one's going to have one of the little titles. So I would not change that law to make it equal cognatic succession, which would, as I said, potential trouble, especially if you're a person that has a lot of children. So I'm sticking with male preference, but the doctrine would be equal. And hey, idea. Well, anyways, and of course, divorce is allowed and still have concubines. So you could say it's not that radical of a reform. We're just trying to, basically relax some of the things. So this is a slightly relaxed version of the old faith. That's what it is basically. But the only difference is that we're a bit more unrelenting for the sake of national defense. In case somebody attacks us, Crusader. And if somebody were to do that, well, I can call a great holy war to strike back at them if I wish to. But that's not what that whole series is about. The series is about Greenland and beyond. But each ruler can only create and reform the faith once. Keep that well in mind. Sins and virtues remain the same. That'll cost you 3,900 prestige, which I thought it would be a little more than that, but it was pretty much tells you how we live, so. So there you have it. I have reformed the faith, and what else? I'm trying to think in my mind. I have the Nildan of the Advocate, which that is a duchy in itself. And line of succession. This is a temporal theocratic. So it'll go to Ido. As it should be. A reformation is already ongoing because we're trying to, well, in 4 years' time, well, it's going to happen under the reign of Ido, where maritime mercantilism will be the thing here. And it's going to cost like 10,000 some odd prestige to try to change a marsh from men only to equal. So both men and women serves. Shield maidens are not. But it kind of defeats the purpose of having shield maintenance now, is it? But the main difference is, women can be counselors now. Unlanded women can now be counselors. That's the reason why I chose equal. Oh yeah, I just held the temples for myself. That we ought to change. Here it is. Give that to somebody else. But I'll keep the other two. Such as this one temple there. And another over there. I'll keep that for myself because I can hold it. Come on, Hęiðni. That means old Norse faith, basically. So who's the most well-learned man out there? Well, he isn't going to be around to make a difference, but give it a go. Wait. No, oh, you're going to have to. You're about to die here. By showing sufficient devotion and gathering the favor of the clergy, I can assure that my dynasty is forever enshrined as a holy bloodline under divine protection. So, it's further increased by 25, and I will gain the trait, the Savior. He is here to deliver us all. This would definitely help the dynasty renown go up, and increase that level of splendor by 1. It will be glorious. Form the final rites. Thanks to my pure devotion and relentless work, I have strictly bound the holiest of offices of the human faith to the Sognsdal Dynasty. An increasing number of people in the clergy amongst the faithful have come to think of my family as the chosen caretakers of the holy relics and the harbingers of divine will. We are little more than mere mortals. Yes. I'm the Sea King, the Explorer, the Savior. Now, learned minds. Unlocks to build a grand school branch of the embellished city saints. You can send your aquarium to the famed city. At the grand famed city. Trondheim has grown into a city of enormous size. Goods, people, and ideas from every corner of the world flow to its many gates every day. To truly foster a golden age for the city and the Sognsdal name, it is necessary to sponsor such ideas in an idyllic place, a school. Save that for Idel. I think she should have that honor. We can wait that out. And we should have a holy order. Over in Grimsby. There can never be too many wars dedicated to defending the true faith. Our honor hereby given those who would serve a home in arms. The holy order of my faith will be founded, and I will become the order's patron. The holy order, yes. I'm willing to spend a lot of money for this. Just to found this holy order. So, Grand Mistress Birna of the Faithful of Tyr, with the headquarters over in England. She shall defend the faith. And I could send my antiquarian to the famed city. Which, of course, that'll cost a lot as well. Makes her better at her job. Oh. Oh, there's just so much you could do. But I want you to remember, you're still raiding. Gotta bring that loot back. Because my time is coming soon. At long last, I managed to gather every important Hofgodi in the world together so they could discuss our beliefs and establish an official doctrine to guide our faith into the future. And Hofgodi are already talking about launching great holy wars to spread their new faith across the world. And they're all asking adherents to put old disputes aside and come together for the sake of the new faith. I've chosen to personally lead this burgeoning movement and assume the title of Fylke, an exalted position I will pass down to my descendants. The world will see that Odin favors us. Keep raiding. I want you to raid this one last place there, and then come back home to Cornwall, and then we're going to save up that little bit of money, and we shall use that money to build a new school, which will be Idle's first task. In your departure, all the way to Cornwall. 700 gold. Bring it home. Two counselors down. The Duke of Dukes, they call you. Make do with what you can. There are many challenges that lay ahead for Edel. She's not young, but she'll make do with what she can. And remember, we're all from divine blood. Triumph, love, prosperity. Remember those lessons that Astrid gave you long ago. Long ago, before any of us were even alive. There, you start off with 2,000 some odd gold. Now I am ready to leave this earth. And yes, I'll accept your truce for gold, as the truce will be null and void very soon, as I am 88 years old. I did everything that I did on this earth. Katla has brought my grandson Bjorn to the market today. Bjorn was to hand out alms to the poor and needy, to learn about charity and rules applied to less fortune. The Implacable child gave something to everyone, she says. But when the purse ran dry, he insisted we go get another. Very selfless, maybe even excessively so. Seems that Bjorn has a very big heart. Well, generosity does run in the family, but remember, you're the man of intrigue, so if I were you, I suggested you be fickle. You must always consider your choices carefully, constantly. Remember those lessons that I taught you. $39. Look, it may look like the task is finished converting, but in actuality, we're trying to increase the size of the population of our new faith into those lands to get rid of the old faithful. She's in need of some guidance. Learning skill helps with the conversion speed. Oh, wait a minute. We could still do that? Any sub-realm content has the ability to... Oh, it's because of the old faithful here. Right. There's no old faithful here in my capital. I like how you kept saying Old Faithful, like the name of a geyser over in Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. But anyways, time for me to go with the gods. Maybe I'll meet Astrid, maybe I'll end up in hell, who knows? I'm very happy, and I'm very proud for what I did here. So, farewell. Fare thee well. I just took a drink in honor of him. Hęiðni, Herstein of the Hęiðni has joined the feast in Valhalla at 88 years of age. Makes it the second longest live character I have ever played. He died of old age. Although quite famous for his sharp intellect, he could still not outsmart Hel. Vilkir Idil ascends to the throne. A silent woman, many do not expect her to do well in diplomatic matters. We shall see about that. Now, this man, he ruled from 11th of April, 1005, and ruled all the way till April 16th, then 68. 63 years of rule, making quite possibly the longest lived ruler out of all of them, and also second longest lived character that I've ever played as. If only he had, you know, well, if only he has certain things that would keep him alive. You know, like if he had, you know, like if he was Herculean, you know, one of those traits and all that. But he founded a faith. He was a culture head, he was a living legend, a religious icon, strategist, the whole body. He fought in 8 wars. Just to select a few. Just to select a few wars. But now the important question is, no titles lost in succession. Compare that to past rulers like Togir, who lived up to 74. But he only ruled for 24 years. And then Herstein lived way longer than that. And so now, her reign begins And I am sure that some of the vassals, oh no, everybody's well respected. It's because of opinion of predecessor, I assume? Opinion of predecessor being one of them. Yes. The reign has been short, yes. Autonomous vassals. I never really bothered with this. Okay, who wants to be on the council? If you got the skills. She is the administrator. And she does have some of the things that would benefit her. Her health's feeling fine, but her rule is expected to be short. So that means now I have to raise him myself. I didn't know you could send in the West regardless of age. Unless I'm crazy. But please wait a moment. Wait one day. The new Kasarina. Kasarina. I mean, I'm not sure how do you say that. Because Norwegian words. With the passing of my father, the responsibility to lead the vassals now falls upon my shoulders. I stand before my vassals, adjust my new crown, and blush. Oh, the things I will accomplish. Long live. Yeah. She's an administrator. All the reasons why she's a bit more respected. Because likable. Direct vassal opinion goes up. But I don't think she would be the type to lead troops in the battle. I mean, she does have the fighting skills and the martial skill for it. But if there's one thing she's lacking, it's diplomacy. That not do. And in her sorrow, it would be wise to go for majesty focus. And just get diplomacy and all these things as quickly as possible. Which means switch the books. Anything diplomacy related, if we have any. There's one. There it is. Now it takes 2 years to get an expert instead of 3. Not to mention that she's intelligent. Ah, of the old faith. Son, need you to convert. I will raise you myself. Again, he's the heir. Not a lot of choices though, because let me see. Is it because different faith seeds that? Interesting. Interesting. Well, in that case, vote for my son. There's not a lot of choices here. Unless there's someone else who does have a claim to it. There, that's all. Ah. Right. Now I got a lot of decisions. Train my heir. Decided to take my heir beyond to the countryside and study with them at the roadside. And this is a great opportunity for them to focus and learn away from the eyes and ears of the court. Teachable traits. A lot of these things. The qualifying skills, you must have over 15 in the skill, be educated in skill, or have said lifestyle skill chosen. Your heir must be less than 5 in a skill and of less than 10 in a skill. So, okay. Let's get to it. I look around the tavern table at my young heir beyond, who's hiding her face behind a hood and cloak. It's my fault for never getting them in the way of the court among the rough and tumble people of our lands. I push the mug of ale across the table towards them as they hear the sound of metal scraping against wood. They finally look up to meet my eyes. As they take a drink, they ask, "What is it that you want me to learn?" You need to learn to use a blade, Bjorn. Because life's tough. Wow, that was bad. He got wounded. Get me a physician. It's time to hold the court. There's plenty of things to do on the first day. Here's Sir Riffil. Comes forward, apprehensively escorted by his wife, Hęiðni, who seems to be in bad temper. She spots up. "My lady, Mayor Sigrid is trying to seduce my husband in front of Odin. She's never liked me. It must be her. Those clearly bears to have served so publicly. I can barely bring himself to meet my eyes. I will not tolerate adulterers in any court." An envoy for the provincial city, Mayor Davgon of Ume, has come to protest the abuse his city has been suffering at the hands of its neighbor. Both Gaulish Islam and under its protection their liege, Pavlos. They occupy and repossess our arable land by force and threaten the landowners with spiritual damnation and material violence to make them sell their belongings. I beg of you, my lady, do us justice. Simon is well within his rights. A traitor uncovered. One of my guards approaches my court Albert and chains Trelavan. I caught Adalbert in the process of sending sensitive information to foreign spies about. What should we do with him? Yipe. I forgive. Once. Do not betray me again. And that's the kind of ruler that we have to get used to what she would be like. Prepare that. And that too. Again, she's going to be more of an administrative ruler than some person who likes to go out and raid, even though she does have the combat skill for it. I mean, she's a veteran shield maiden, an herbalist, and she's also a two-time explorer, and a bit of a berserker herself. So she's not someone to be trifled with at times. What now? I am Judge harshly towards my hostility. Clucas, the criminal who is avoided by most everyone on account of their wicked faith. My failure to condemn and continue proxy to this irredeemable fiend is perceived as open tolerance, tarnishing my court's reputation in the eyes of the elders and faithful. They forced my hand and now I must decide whether the courtier's crimes far outweigh my effects for him. Surely something must be done. Is courtiers so really hard to replace? Would you please get out of here? Now. What else? Let's build a grand school here. Trondheim will have a learning center here. It has become an important learning center due to the Sognsdal family's patronage of its many schools and universities here. And for the rest of my life, we'll have more monthly lifestyle experience found at one of the most important schools in the world here. We'll be able to interact with constructors through several events. Great minds think alike. And we'll raise a rune stone for my departed father. Yes. Now that I've decided what to put on my rune stone, the question remains where to place it. Memorials to family like him encourage respect and fealty. Best placed in areas that think little of me, where I can make an example of dedication and servitude to higher powers. Lindsay makes a fine choice. He's thought of a Lindsay Fountain. I wish we could place it here in Trondheim. But it's in Velus City, so the city is his legacy. But we want to put an ancestor stone in England because he was a great conqueror of England during his day. So let's go meet these renowned blacksmiths there in Lindsay as well. Let's have a reduction of the men-at-arms maintenance. Those skilled require tool supplies to support my campaigns. And now let's send an expedition to the west. Go to Vinland, as its current viability is 39. Now I need someone very skilled. And it's gonna be one of you boys. But if not, we'll find someone. And if I can't find somebody, then we'll have to make do with someone. I need more prestige. That's the priority. Become illustrious. Because if you want to get this, you gotta be illustrious at the least. Although I will not live long enough to see that viability go all the way up to 80. I mean, that's not possible, but certainly it's a start. Support Greenland by constructing hunting stations. And additionally, organize a hunting trip. I saw that it's 95% success guaranteed. Why not a whale hunt as well? Probably make some money back during all this. And then perform a horse sacrifice as well. And maybe we'll get more prestige as well. I am all about prestige. Now, who wants to go to Vinland? That's the real question. Seems that my daughter, who is also my court tutor, seems to be the most evenly skilled. As she's, you know, one of the shield maidens. She's intelligent. So you will be appointed as the expedition leader. You will have that with distinction. And then perhaps in future generations, or perhaps 10 years later, it'll be Bjorn's turn. Yes. Neither of you impressed me, but however, I'm still gonna invite you in for free, and I'm gonna name you court physician. I loopholed it. And yes, I'm a bit shy about meeting new people, but we need a physician. And if you want to reduce that stress loss, let's have ladies in waiting. Only the ones that I trust. Only my immediate family members should be my bodyguards. Minor political boon. Monthly prestige up a bit, as I've gained plenty. Oh, no whales that we got. Aid arrives in Greenland. There's some prestige. Off to North Sato with you. Experts and learned men have heed my call and begun to enter the city, looking for patronage. However, their range of interests vary very greatly, and I worry they won't be as useful if the school won't be specialized. What courses should it offer first? The natural sciences. In days past, as the works on the school begun to gear in motion, arguments are spreading around in the court around who they think will and should be allowed to learn from renowned masters. Everyone has the right. I mean, my father was a very generous man. Well, or so I'm shy, but my father, if he were around, he would say that everyone has the right to go to the school, because he was generous and a man of the people. A debate is only as effective as the people who take part in it. Even the ancients preached the importance of making sure that voices from outside too were heard, so as to truly be sure of one's truth. I could actively hire people from foreign lands to come here, but many among my vassals are unsure of the benefit it would bring. It is the right thing to do. It seems like my calls were more successful than I had predicted. The number of eager students who have flooded the streets and the inns of Trondheim has started to become a nuisance. Every night my soldiers have to break up a fight or send home a drunken man. They have nowhere to stay. It is imperative that a true place of gathering is for them is prepared. A suitable structure has to be built to accommodate them. For the prestige. Finally, lessons have begun at this school. In the streets of Trondheim, you could hear the joyful laugh of students, while debates on old and new topics are argued every day in the great squares of the city. Something to learn every day. So you built the grandest school, and this is going to be the learning center here. And I have gained 4 learning lifestyle perks for that. We'll make use of it. So 1, this is for the ward to gain additional skills for my son. 2, for cultural fascination. And I would say go down rest this way, stopping short of know thyself. Okay, gotta make use of this. And I have the cultural fascination progress to go faster, just to keep it up with this regarding innovations and all that. Well, you're my second eldest daughter. No, you're one of the twins, right? Well, off you go then, and I wish you good luck. Safe journeys. I only chose you because you could be widely skilled to deal with any situation that may come up. Also, you're one of the shield maidens, right? Yes. Father made you so. A stranger. A Mr. Bird brings me a message from Olfilda with an update about her expedition to Vinland. While sailing at a coastline of unknown area, Olfilda landed at a beach to only encounter a man huddled over a campfire. He did not look Norwegian and wore strange clothes. Despite the language barrier, Olfilda managed to get an idea of what happened to this man. Named Setewaldi. He's from the tribe of the Yakut people. What is he doing here? Oh, he was from the tribe of the Yakut people. The Yakut is Siberian. They're the Uyghur. Turkic language, Siberian. Well, again, but he was separated from the group, from his group, for some reason. I was all alone. Perhaps he was ostracized, or the last survivor attacked by enemies, or she suffered some other calamity. I wonder, how did she react to this? Well, she's an analytic absolver. That's her personality. She may be a bit forgiving, calm, but stubborn. I mean, I'm kind of not sure. But knowing her, I know she would kindly given him some supplies. So 10% chance that it does not accept generosity, 0% chance it's not alone and it's not a good way, 37% chance that it accepts the generosity and provides some supplies or knowledge in return. 29% chance turns out it's not alone, but in a good way. 21% chance it decides to join the expedition. We shall see. I continue reading the message. Setewaldi was understandably cautious at first, but eventually accepted supplies Olfilda offered him. Whether out of desperation, because he was convinced of Olfilda's good intentions to both. Furthermore, he started to feel more comfortable in the crew. It seemed to indicate the gestures and unintelligible words that he wanted to join them. Did he have nowhere to go and felt they had little choice, or was he curious and wanted to travel, or a combination of both? Olfilda concludes the message by saying she is not sure if I would approve, but she decided to let someone tag along. Perhaps we'll meet other Yakut like Sawadi in the future. He'll be welcome to my court. So this totally foreign man has come here. A Yakut. Siberian heritage. Huh. The messenger bird brings him another message from Olfilda with an update about our expedition to Vinland. Apparently, according to the message, Olfilda found what looked like a promising harbor to anchor their ships, They scarcely begun to approach the coastline when many arrows flew out of nowhere at them. The crew immediately rushed to leave the harbor. Fortunately, Ulf says they didn't have many serious casualties. Due to the frantic, sudden nature of the ambush, Ulf's crew managed a few glimpses at their attackers. There are conflicting reports what those attackers looked like. For example, some of the crew claimed that these attackers were strange, one-legged beings who hopped around swiftly, while others said that the crewmates who misinterpreted the fierceness of their clearly human foes to heat them up. Whoever those attackers were, they seemed dangerous, and that's a bad one. Not as much money to be made here for this ivory hunt. Clearly. One bad, one good so far, so let's hope for good. Again, it's all luck, you know, it's the randomness of it. I just have a bad streak with Vinland as of late. Birthdays on me. Still feeling fine. An axe keepsake, that's strange, I'll keep it. 39. That's the number of Vinland's viability currently. Interesting thing to have. Messenger Bird brings you a message from Elfada with an update about our expedition event. While sailing on the coastline of unknown area, she landed at the beach and encountered a woman huddled over a campfire. She did not look Norwegian, wore strange clothes. Another stranger? Despite the language barrier, we managed to get an idea of what happened to this one, named Pelonik. She's from the tribe of the Osaka people. A proper native. That Yakut guy? We would have to assume that he was probably one of the explorers sent out from someone else, and he got lost himself. And now we got this person here. But again, she's from the Wollasukalik. Oh, God damn it. The Wollastukiyik. Wow, it's just is an Algonquinian heritage, speaks that particular language. So yeah, she was separated from her group, but for some reason is now all alone. Perhaps she was ostracized or last survivor attack by enemies or some other calamity. I think she, once again. But please bear in mind, skills are slightly different. Man, I wish I could give you an artifact just to benefit your skills a little, but let's hope for good luck, alright? She's given spies again, and she's given spies, and she'll do it again. I'll continue reading your message. Pelonik was understandably cautious at first, but eventually she accepted the supplies offered her. With her desperation, she was convinced of Ulfelder's good intentions of both. Pelonik then provided the expedition with a few items in return. Additionally, Ulfelder and her crew subsequently asked Pelonik about this land, her people, and the tribe there, though there was difficulty communicating due to the language barrier. Ulfelder believes that Pelonik provided us some useful information that could be a great help in the future if we were to send further expeditions to the region. Oh, I'm glad it worked out. The streak is finally broken. I stand above my subjects as a sovereign ruler, unequaled in the realm, dressed in apart with resplendent garments and jewelry that would serve as a subtle reminder to everyone that I am in charge. Local fashions have symbolic meaning. Acquired an outfit fit for me. That's just for the diplomacy lifestyle experience. Speaking of which, plus 45 a month. Wants to make scale armor. You know, we've had this old armor for a long time. You think it's about time that we should get a new one? Okay, it's cheap. Yeah, we can afford that. Willing to fund it. Thank you very much. That's another thing we could do. Domestic affairs. I hardly do any foreign affairs if I want more prestige. There you go. You increased your learning just a bit. Are you infected? No, still wounded. Why have you? Oh, no, never mind. I thought I did do this decision, but I don't know why that person hasn't been treated. As our order of faithful grows, need more land to organize our defense of the faith. The Crusader of Costa is perfectly suited for that purpose. All the way to Iceland? And you're going to give me money for it? Go ahead. Any wealth is greatly needed these days. The ships we sent on an expedition to Vinland have returned. I went to meet Oldfielder and asked her about the various events she had during the expedition. Unsurprisingly, there was much to tell. Fortunately, it appears the expedition was ultimately a success. During the expedition, Oldfielder managed to acquire a lot of useful resources, contacts, and information while exploring this frontier region. There is no doubt that the boons of this expedition will greatly help the Greenland colony, and perhaps we could send another expedition to the region in the future for be another great opportunity to earn more glory to ourselves. The viability increased to 4 up to 43. And we have some information about the Native Americans now. So, this character recently sponsored expeditions to the West Seas. The expedition had some encounters with the Native American peoples, or their material culture at least, and relayed information about these peoples to this character. Information that might include details like the politics, beliefs, or social organization of these people, or less esoteric concepts like how their weapons and tools are designed, the kind of food they eat, or simply just their appearance. Again, I'm expected to rule 10 years, so take what you can get. Slowly considering it. But again, it's based on its viability and the struggle phase, even though it's been concluded. My son Bjorn is harboring cigarette effects for Rona. Different Rona, not my Rona. However, when you find questions, respond harshly. Your objections seem to have made Bjorn wary of any kind of attraction whatsoever. Well, since you're going to be the man of intrigue here, so I should say Bjorn should not anyone treat him like that. Not interested. We're gonna end this episode very soon. This is ridiculous mod protest. As the keeper of Saurian's personal collection, I have a responsibility to ensure the quality of your work. You'll see once finished, you should leave a woman to her work when she's making scholar fit for royalty. Mod will ensure of its quality, and it will be of higher quality. Maybe we could finally replace that old armor. As vassals owe me their allegiance. My word is law, but how much obedience about devotion is worth. In times of crisis, a slow response or half-hearted effort could lead to disaster. Can I afford such a risk? How will win the unwavering loyalty? I'll take the hit. I'd rather be well liked than keep order. There's no need for dedication, so as it says here. Is there anyone special in my life who must have read my irritation, such a personal question from my face? Because she could do that. Is there anyone you wish to dedicate your commission artifact to? It is turning out well, but a meaningful inscription would make it feel even more personal. Again, there's no need for no dedication. I wish it would be my father, but it's not to be. My vassal, Adolphe, calls me. Well met, liege. I heard tell your patronage of Vladislav the Armor. They say he's making skill armor worthy of you. Please take this and give it to him. Wouldn't want to miss a chance to aid in creation masterpiece. He has interests to great many things. Among them, precious artifacts in the mines which produce. No, prithee, keep it. It will be of higher quality. We don't want to make it slightly higher quality. That's to my belief anyhow. Bjorn, Rune. Why her? Yeah, is a child. Faith's astray. His faith's astray. His faith is astray? Well, you're still of the old faith. I wouldn't worry about it. When he grows up, you're all gonna vote for him. A major fire recently swept through the large town of Trondheim. It has nevertheless devastated much settlement and left many dead and injured. Given the town as of regional importance, the disaster could have long-time consequences. Do what we can to aid the survivors and help rebuild. My goodness, a fire. 45. I think in about a year or two, I will attempt to re-establish the outpost in Vinland, which will be in the next episode. I'll bump into the very grave-looking Vladislava of my armor, which does bring ill news of the splendid skill armor she should soon have ready for me. Oh, there you are, my liege. I've hit a wall on my work. Nothing major. My idea's gone to the ground as the pressure mounts fast nervously. I just need some inspiration. Might you have some prior examples I could examine? Real inspiration comes from within. Prestige is not yet reached to illustrious, so we may have to go hunting. In fact, let's do that right now. You would think a creature from myth, perhaps a god disguised animal form. It was the largest heart I've ever seen. Even after the beast was wounded, it chased lasted half a day. It is still an imposing sight, lying dead before me. This one will fetch a fine price. No need for that. Let's hold a rather modest feast. I gotta increase that quality of just about every court amenity. I'd increase that sometime, since we can afford it. And you're still going to rely on raiding. I did everything I could, ensure that Nordis and Krakow would be as far from each other as possible. But it's not enough. Now they've come to blows, in the middle of my piece. One of the guards that's close to the wall looks at me in order to intervene. Halt! We'll talk about this later. There's the level of Athena she deserves. Feast on it, I'll find myself deep conversations from my wholesome sister. She inquires about my opinion on the rumors at court. The Sognsdal is deeply interested also. The subject fascinates me as well. Unconcerned of any etiquette, add the guards slams on the I mean it. He screams, I'll do anything you ask me, anything at all, ask me and it's done. I can smell the alcohol smell, the promise of every guest present. You're the man of your word, aren't you? Yeah. Just to make damn sure. Everyone had to respect Holmes. I'm proud to say the feast was a success. I have my husband, Manival, who is a Marova, to thank my success, and I feel nothing but gratitude for you guys. So. Let me train the air again. He might become severely injured. But he's robust. He can take it like a man. Learn to use the blade. They're a natural. Aspiring blade master. Look at you now. You do have what it takes. And he's learned the Finnic language as well. May it be of use for him. For the floors, she rips the fabric covering away. My eyes go on. The armor is constructed from an excellently crafted steel skills that are fastened to a backing of leather. The set includes a nasal helmet and a mail comb. Paragraph satin. The whole armor is etched to display a repeating image of interlaced knot patterns. Magnificent. Masterwork. Less friendly fatal casualties. Not effectiveness, it's a very small difference, but I'll wear it. No need for that. So, let's stop here on August. Okay. So, now, ladies and gentlemen, in this next, this was a pretty eventful episode in itself, you know, regarding the Reformation and everything. And all that while we... I may have to go raiding again soon for some loot. For raisins. As long as everybody's not too busy with whatever is going on out there. And so, I would say that in the next episode, it's highly likely now that we're going to attempt to build that outpost. Because the viability's almost reached the 50. It's 42% chance of success. It's a risk. But it's a risk I'll be willing to take. It'll be a major step. And then we got to continue to support it every 5 years. Every 5 years we have to support this outpost. In which try to increase its viability. Since we have concluded the struggle a few episodes ago. 5 outposts! We're not the only ones here. There are others. I'm not going to identify, but I thought we were alone in this, but nope. There's apparently 5 outposts now. Well, we will hopefully in the next episode join those people who have already been there. And then, I mean, there's got to be there's no limit to how many outposts they can have, right? But they all say in this far possible future that you gotta have the viability of at least 80. That's the global value, not you. Everybody is affected by it. So, we hope you people will join us in this next episode of great importance as this series continues. But until the next one, so long for now.